One of these three priests uses a video camera as a weapon in the war against drugs. Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Father Georgelemons.
Number two.
My name is Father Georgelemons.
Number three.
My name is Father Georgelemons.
Only one of these people is the real Father Georgelemons, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Actor and raconteur Orson Bean. Talk show hostess Mother Love. Film and television producer David Niven Jr. And to tell the truth's very own Kitty Carlisle. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Burton. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome to our program. Good morning, panel.
Good morning, darling.
We're going to start off today by going to confession, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, this is a marvelous story, so let's get right to it. The one presented by our first team of challengers, all three of whom claim to be Father Georgelemons. Please follow along as I read the affidavit. I, Father Georgelemons, am a Catholic priest who's using a video camera to fight crime. Inspired by the national furor over the videotaping of police officers beating a motorist in Los Angeles, I began a national campaign to encourage private citizens to use the same tool to help police make drug busts. I've already taped several drug transactions which I've made available to the authorities. Take a look at this piece of tape, taken of two drug dealers on the streets of Chicago. True, the police frown upon the idea, and I've personally received numerous death threats. Someone even fired a shot into my rectory window. I am not naive enough to think this will stop the dope trade, but it will put fear into the dealers if they know the private citizen is lurking in the shadows. Signed, Father Georgelemons. We'll find out more about this priest who's focusing on the drug dealers right after this. Gosh, it feels just like being back in school again. All right, panel, these three men all claim to be Father Georgelemons, whose candid camera is catching criminals in the act. Kitty, we'll start it off with you.
Number one, it's a marvelous idea, but why does the police frown upon it?
They're afraid of danger to the people taking the video, and sometimes they can only use it for investigating purposes.
And number two, have you any idea who shot through your rectory window?
No idea at all, but the next day I received a phone call, we'll get you next time.
Oh, my dear. Number three, is your parish...
Your time is up. David.
Oh, my dear is right. Number one, staying with you, what happens with those death threats? What did you do? You reported to the police, and then what happened?
Well, there were some police with me at the time in my rectory, and at present I have a bodyguard that's assigned to me by the Chicago Police Department.
Okay, thank you. Number two, I looked at that videotape, and it was very difficult to tell who those people were because they were facing the other direction. So why was that tape of any use to the police?
The tape could be enhanced to show a little bit better just who the people were in the scenes that you saw.
Oh, okay. Number three, why did the police frown on this idea other than the reason that number one gave us?
Well, that was the reason that they frowned on it.
I figured you were going to say that.
Mother?
Number three, why do you think the authorities consider you a hindrance as opposed to a help?
I don't think they consider it a hindrance. I think they are afraid that some harm might come to the general public if they do this without proper precaution.
And number two, are you concerned about your general health? I mean, somebody shooting through you through the rectory. I mean, you know, if they shoot through the church, something's wrong with them. I mean, they don't have any regard for human life. Are you afraid?
There's a difference between being afraid and being paralyzed.
I can understand that. Number one.
Orson.
Thanks. Yeah, number one, now, in the wake of the Rodney King thing, it looks like video cams are going to become the biggest weapon against evildoers of all kinds. Do you agree with that, number one?
I agree, but I would like the drug dealers to be looking over their shoulders every time that they're doing a deal.
Number three, are your parishioners behind you in this?
Well, they certainly are concerned about my safety, and I appreciate that.
Well, number two, the people in your parish, do they wish you'd stop it, or are they saying, go and get them, Father?
I've had total support.
Total support.
Total support.
Number one.
With that, we will have to cast our ballots for the gentleman you feel is the real crime-fighting Catholic priest. Is it number one? Is it number two? Or is it number three? Our team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000. And if our panel is fooled completely, as you know, the team receives $3,000. Kitty, for whom did you vote?
Well, I really wanted to vote for number two because he said the difference between being afraid and being paralyzed is the difference in the way he feels. That's a wonderful answer. But somehow, I thought it was number three, and the way he answered the questions.
You said number three, and yet you were holding up card number one.
Oh, well, I meant number three. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I can't read. Well, Father, I'm sorry. I can't read.
Catholic priests will do that to you. They'll intimidate you. I grew up with them. I know. David.
I did too. I know exactly what you mean. Two of them are great liars. I happen to think, however, the one telling the truth is number one.
I see.
So there.
Mother.
I hate this, but I know who it is, so I have to disqualify myself.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. It makes the team of challengers happy because they're going to get at least $500 more.
Oh,
Orson.
well, be glad I know who you are.
Well, I think number three is going to play the part of number one when they make the movie. I think it's one. I don't know.
Let's review our voting. We have one disqualification from Mother Love because she says she knows who the real Father George Clements is. We have 2 votes for number one, no votes for number two, and 1 vote for number three. So let's find out now who the real candid cameraman is. Will the real Father George Clements stand up? It is number three.
Who he is?
How?
Because he's the first African-American priest to adopt.
To adopt?
He has a son. Well, you probably got about 15 of them now. You have 4 now.
4 of them. Well, that's
He
great.
adopted a son.
Congratulations on the good work you were doing, Father. Let's meet the imposters. Number one, who are you, sir?
My name is Thomas Gregory, and I'm from San Diego, and I work for a financial service company that shows people how to manage money.
Well, good for you. Number two, I thought you were most convincing even though no one voted for you. Who are you, sir?
My name is Charles Phil, and I teach Air Force ROTC at John Muir High School in Pasadena.
Well, now, there were 2 incorrect votes plus the disqualification, and that means there were 3 incorrect votes at $500 apiece, and the team is going away with $1,500. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us today on To Tell the Truth. We'll be back with a woman who married the same man 4 times right after this. We're back, and just before you meet our next group of challengers, I would like you to meet a man named Don Shubert.
I got married. We got a divorce. I married her again. We got another divorce. Believe it or not, I've married one of these women 4 times.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Hope Shubert.
Number two.
My name is Hope Shubert.
Number three.
My name is Hope Shubert.
It's up to our panel to locate the real Hope Shubert. Please follow along as I read her affidavit. I, Hope Shubert, have been married to the same man 4 times. We were first married in 1986 and divorced 2 years later. 4 months after that, we remarried. This time, it lasted only 6 months. We started to fight about the same old things. Splitsville again. But 2 months later, we remarried. And then we got an annulment. Last February, 1991, we remarried for the 4th time. Our multiple marriages and divorces served as inspiration for author Neil Simon's recent film, The Marrying Man. I've tried it with him and without him. It's better with him. This time, I know it will last forever. Signed, Hope Shubert. Hope springs eternal. Orson, we'll start with you.
Hope springs eternal indeed. I'm glad you've finally given up and agreed that you're stuck with him. Number three, Each time that you got married, did your mother get you aside and tell you about the birds and the bees and what to expect that night?
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. Number one, what about him drives you the craziest?
I would say his personality.
His personality? Well, number two, why do you keep marrying him again? What's so wonderful? In your own words, number two.
Must be love.
Must be love, indeed. Number three, is he the best lover you've ever known?
Well, of course.
Well, I imagine so. Number one...
Whoa,
well,
you were
Mother
getting
love-
into a rather risque area there, Orson. Mother, you will follow it up.
You need to quit. Is he a good lover? I mean, you keep marrying him, number one, you keep marrying him over and over again. What makes you think it's gonna last forever this time?
I'm a romantic, and I'm very optimistic about it.
No, you're sick. Number two, I mean, what does your mother have to say about this? You keep marrying, does she think he's a wonderful son-in-law?
She likes him better than me.
Oh, sounds like my mother. Number three, do you have any children from these many marriages?
Just one.
So, number three, what does your child think of this?
Well, she's not quite old enough to understand yet.
Oh, good thing.
David.
Thank you. Number one, you fight about the same old things. What's the most important of these same old things?
Actually, it's money.
You have it and he wants it, or he has it and you want it?
We don't have it.
You don't have it. Okay. Number two, I want to know why you think this is really going to last forever this time.
Because we've tried it so many times, it's gotta last one of those.
You think so? Okay. Number three, it's better with him than without him. Why?
Well, that's not absolutely true. It's good with him and without him. He's hard to live with.
Why is he so hard to live with, number three?
Well, because he's chauvinistic.
He's chauvinistic. And Kitty, she said it so softly. He's chauvinistic. Questions from you, please.
Well, number one, when you were without him, did you have other lovers? Do you have any way of comparing him to anybody else?
No.
No. You didn't have any other lovers?
No.
So you don't know? You
You're
just
right.
know what you like.
I just know what I like.
I see. And number two, what is his job? Why, do you have any money?
No, he's
No.
a police officer.
He's a police officer. And number three, do you have enough money with him? Is that what you fight over? What do you all fight over?
Well, women and his job.
And he likes women?
Well, he's out all the time in the police car, so it's been a problem.
That bothers you. I don't blame you.
This is a toughie, isn't it? All right, it's time for you to cast your ballots, though, for the marrying woman. Is it number one? Is it number two? Or is it number three? Slight look of sadness in a couple of our challengers there. Orson, for whom did you vote?
Well, I just went out for drinks with the second ex-husband of my first ex-wife. I'm glad to see that these people are really keeping in the family. I had decided to vote for number three because she's irresistible. But when she said he's a chauvinist, that cinched it. The women admire Alan Alda, but they marry the chauvinists.
All righty. Mother.
I voted for number three as well because she looks like she would say, look, you are getting on my last nerve, get out, and then she'll say, okay, honey, I'm sorry, come back.
The forgiving kind.
The
David.
forgiving kind.
Well, I was confused by all three of them. I mean, nothing made any sense to me. I didn't get one clue. But I did go for number one because she actually looks beautiful in her white dress. And that's my reason.
I see. Good. Voting for clothing here.
Yes.
Kitty?
Well, they all look beautiful, and I can well understand how he was praying to get them all back. But I thought number three's answers were much more in-depth and much more felt than the other two, maybe because of the questions we asked.
There was a poignancy to it
Yes.
that caught you.
Yeah.
All right, let's review the voting. One vote for the lady in the wedding gown, number one. No votes for number two, and 3 votes for number 3. So let's find out right now who the real marrying kind is. Will the real Hope Shubert please stand up? It is number 2, and our panelists were fooled completely. Let's bring out your husband, Don. Come on out, Don. Join Hope. Usually we ask our contestants if they brought along their wedding picture. In this case, we have 2 wedding pictures. Which wedding is this?
The first.
This is the first one. And this?
Second.
Second. I assume you have wedding photos from each of the weddings. It's kind of fun. Do you have any children?
Yes, one.
1. Well, I hope this time that the wedding, the marriage does work out. Let's find out who our imposters are. Number one, who are you, ma'am, and what do you do?
My name is Sarah Hale, and I'm a waitress at the Sports Deli, and I've never been married.
Never been married. I hope the dress inspires you. Number three, 3 votes for you. Who are you, and what do you do?
My name is Stephanie Lovejoy, and I'm also single, and I'm also one of the winners of To Tell the Truth, Have a Dinner with a Star contest.
Oh, all right. Well, now, congratulations. The 3 of you as a team managed to stump our panel, and that means you will receive $3,000. And our thanks for being with us today on To Tell the Truth. We'll be back to hear more about Stephanie's date with Timothy Gibbs of Santa Barbara right after this. Stephanie Lovejoy is one of the winners of our Win a Date with Your Favorite Soap Opera Star contest, and she got a date with this handsome man, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Timothy Gibbs from Santa Barbara. Together again, Timothy. Tell us about the date.
I know who this is.
Tell us about the date.
I had a wonderful time.
So did I. It was wonderful.
Stephanie, it was worthwhile taking part in the contest, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's take a look at the tape that shows a little bit of what happened that evening. Oh, you kept walking in dark hallways. There we go.
How are you?
Hi.
Well, you wouldn't be Stephanie, would you?
Yes, I would.
How are you? I'm Tim.
Tim, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. See ya.
Then the evening got
Yes.
interesting. Did he kiss you goodbye and good night?
He hugged me.
He hugged
I gave you a kiss.
I forgot.
She forgot. Ask her sister what happened.
Oh,
Good. We'll talk to her sister. Stephanie, thank you for being
Thank
with
you.
us. And Timothy, a great pleasure
Thank
seeing
you.
you again on our
I'll give you one
program.
now, huh?
And now, let's go into the audience to play one-on-one. Burton, who do you have for us today?
Well, Alex, today we have Elma DeMas from Mira Loma, California. Come on up here, Elma.
Elma, as you saw, Stephanie is a very happy prize winner on our contest. You could be a happy winner also, picking up $500. Let me introduce a gentleman with 2 stories. Folks, please welcome John Kohler. Elma, he's going to tell us 2 stories, one of which happens to be the truth. You spot the true story, and you'll win $500. John, what's your first story?
I can throw a boomerang better than anyone in the world. I won this year's World Boomerang Championship.
May or may not be the truth. Let's listen to story number 2.
I train liars. It is my job to teach people how to lie to tell the truth.
Aha! Well, to help you out, Emma, each of our panelists gets to ask one question. We'll start with you, Kitty.
Thank you. What is the best type of wood for a boomerang?
Usually we use plywood, aircraft plywood.
Thank you.
David.
Now, it says here, I can throw a boomerang better than anyone. What makes you do it better than anyone?
We had a championship and we had to go through several events and I won the day.
Mother?
Okay.
How far can you throw the boomerang?
About 100 feet.
Orson?
When the Aboriginal people throw a boomerang, what's the purpose of it? Is it to, so it's, if they miss the kangaroo or something, it comes back? Or
Sometimes it would come back.
why?
Only one question. Let's get to story number 2, the fact that this man teaches our imposters how to lie to tell the truth. Kitty.
Do you have to be a liar to train liars?
It helps.
David.
Who was the most difficult person that you had to train to lie?
I'd have to say that the most honest people are difficult because they don't want to do it. They want to tell the story straight.
Mother.
It came to me so naturally. How do you teach somebody to lie?
Well, it's partially body language. It's how you say the line. I mean, are you going to say it stone-faced, or are you going to really babble on real quickly? There's a lot of things to it.
Orson?
Who's a better liar, men or women?
Women.
Not
Elma? Elma, don't be influenced by that last comment now. But you've heard the cross-examination. Is John the boomerang champion, or does he teach people to lie?
I think he teaches people to lie.
I think so. John Kohler, what's your true story, please?
To tell the truth, I am the boomerang champ.
Elma, sorry about that. We have a gift for you backstage. Wish it could be the cash, but $1,000 for John Kohler. Let's take a look at some tape that shows you in action, I believe.
Oh yeah, this was impossible, small space. This is a 3-blader that I'm throwing here.
That's remarkable. That's remarkable. It's like a Frisbee, only much better.
This is called the William Tell trick, as you can see. And there's an egg on the apple.
You had to help it along just a little bit there, John. But congratulations on winning the Boomerang Championship. That's great. I don't know what the future will hold for you. Probably...
Next year it's in Japan, so we'll see.
Oh, well, that's pretty good. You get to defend in Japan. Thank you for being with us today on To Tell the Truth. We'll be back after this. This will come back, and we hope you will next time.
This is Burton Richardson speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson television production.